Let's move on now to story number 2 on Bollywood's latest scandal, where Raj Kundra has been arrested for involvement in pornographic films, pornography. Let me now introduce Mr. AKashdeep Sabir. He's an actor, producer, director. Swapnil Kothari, senior lawyer of the Bombay High Court. P.S. Pasricha, former Mumbai Police Commissioner, and Chandni Shah, advocate in the Bombay High Court. Thank you very much. We'll begin with you, Mr. Swapnil Kothari. These charges are serious, extremely serious charges. How would you look at them? I mean, you've heard what the police had to say in their press conference. I think they the manner in which they've kind of joined the dots, it appears to be an extremely serious matter.
Yes, exactly. Sanket, there is no question about it that the police has acted after due thought. I would say that it's not somebody just ordinarily that they've picked up. The person happens to be a husband of a well-known personality. The person himself is a well-known businessman, and you don't just pick up people just like that, without applying your mind. And more so, especially in February 2021, when Gehna Vashisht had given this name, they obviously had time to think about it, to collect evidence, to collate evidence. And once you collate evidence, then you find that some sort of a cognizable offense has taken place. Then you go ahead and make an arrest to a person. Obviously, in an earlier show, when you and I were there, somebody raised an issue of a Section 41A notice needs to be given before making an arrest. But that notice, just to bring it to the attention of your viewers and for the information, has to be given when a police does not expect a fundamental arrest. They only want to call in a person for questioning. And even if there was a notice requirement of such sorts, then I think it is just a procedural aspect. And the procedure is always the handmaiden of substantive justice. And more importantly, when you have evidence to that effect that this person's company was involved, people are involved, the computers were used, obviously these evidences themselves, Sanket, give you a credible suspicion about a person being involved in this. And if they've used a phrase that he's at the center of conspiracy about it, he's a conspirator in that sort, or an important person, then in that sense, obviously, they have full rights under the CRPC to call that person, ask him questions, which they did, and upon 5 hours of grilling,
and arrest
they
him
detained
also.
that person.
Okay.
Correct.
Okay. Mr.
And judicial
Pasricha,
custody, they've been nice.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not
custody.
alleging that they've been unkind to Mr. Kundra. I mean, he's being investigated for charges that are against him. Mr. Pasricha, some of the things that the police has said is that they've sufficient evidence, and the probe is on, that Kundra may have set up a company in UK to avoid the tough anti-pornography laws in India. They've found a firm here tied up with Kundra's UK firm, and porn clips on office computers. There is a company in the UK, and he also has, some relation with the people who manufacture this or make this app. How difficult do you think is it going to be for the police to be able to prove these allegations? Because this is a very serious charge, extremely serious.
Well, it is very difficult for the police to connect what they have found in India and what's happening in London, because these people find an escape route. They, as I find in the last few days, and also, with my informal discussion, that these people were getting the film produced by some, petty producer, petty filmmakers, and also taking some girls, who were very ambitious and were dreaming to be part of the Bollywood, but couldn't make it. They were struggling. So that is only the filmmaking. And here we have limitations of law, because if the two adults with mutual consent are being picturized and they're giving, some nudity, etc., then it's not really that big an offense, except that certain, obscenity and certain IT Act things. But the main challenge will come before the police would be now what they have done in London, because the London company is learned that 10 crore rupees have been invested by Raj Kundra, and the company belongs to his brother-in-law. Now that will come. Perhaps ED may come in later if necessary, because as I understand, some foreign exchange, lot of pounds have been also found today, this morning from his house. Now, and then, these people, what they do is they open, they set up some apps. So in that apps, like Hotspots app, this is subscriber, is paid fee. Those people then they transmit from London. So that's that becomes a more serious offense. Okay. These two will have to be...
So you shoot here and transmit it from there to escape the law. Very quickly, Chandni Shah, I want to come to you now. Raj Kundra and lawyers in his defense say that he sold off this company to an accused called Pradeep Bakshi, though the police says that Kundra continued to be involved in the finances of this app. And that's the correlation. That's the reason why this action.
Yes. Financial transactions also play a very important role, whether you are a key conspirator or not, whether you are directly involved in this or whether you are money-wise involved in such things, such acts. Also, arresting such a person of this stature, you really need excruciating evidences for doing that. He was called in for interrogation. He was interrogated for 4 to 5 hours. And after that, he was arrested. He was detained. That means that police must have got some evidence against him to make that arrest. Otherwise, this arrest would not have been made.
This is not a witch hunt. The police may have obviously had some evidence.
If it had been a witch hunt, then he would have been arrested way back in February when he was named. There had been thorough investigation of 4 months. After that, he was called in for interrogation, not even arrested primarily, and then he was arrested. Sure. It means that there was some excruciating evidence, and we've seen that still investigation is going on. He's an accused, not a convict. He's an accused.
No,
so let's see how the investigation goes.
For the purposes of this debate, let's say this very, very clearly. Nobody, NDTV does not believe in doing debates where we declare people the culprit before the law does. AKashdeep, what's your opinion?
I would have said that we should wait for the further details to come out, but when the police commissioner's office has tweeted saying we have sufficient evidence, this could mean a lot more serious, and definitely a lot of answering will have to be done. Just like my earlier speaker was saying, he quit this company some time back, but obviously there was some monetary connection still. Now, whether that will be used as a leeway to show that I was just squaring up my accounts when I realized that this company is up to mischief, I perhaps quit it. Now, this could end up being his stand, and if proven true, then this whole thing falls on its face.
No, by the way, that's not true, because the police also says that Kundra set up a WhatsApp group on which the app's content was discussed.
So I happened to read some of those WhatsApps, and that is why I said that this time the police seem to have a lot of evidence with them, and that is why this claim, any claim by Raj that I'm innocent will have to be substantiated. He will have to prove the essence of these chats, and I think it's a sticky situation, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot more info going to come out. Yeah. It's not a good time.
Bottom line, we have to wait for the investigation to proceed. Yeah, I've run out of time. Thank you very much to the 4 of you. With that, it's a wrap in this edition of Trending Tonight. News and updates continue on the other side. Stay with us.